Hey everybody, KC here. So there are a number of things that we ought to keep in mind regarding the release last week of the less redacted complaint filed by the Federal Trade Commission against Amazon. We did a special alert on Thursday afternoon. First of all, really important to keep in mind, these are all allegations, right? Nothing has been proven. The FTC has to prove them. It's going to endeavor to improve them. I suspect that the FTC must have something if they're willing to go public with these kinds of accusations. But that said, they are accusations, they are allegations. Got to keep that in mind. Second, Jeff Bezos. Listen, it is sobering, I think, when you see that the allegations against Amazon and Bezos seem to suggest that they have some evidence that Bezos agreed that it was okay to diminish the customer experience on Amazon in search of greater advertising revenue. One of the things that is interesting about this is that when you look at Amazon's precepts, right, like the customer experience, customer obsession, rather than competitor focus, that's number one. And so saying to yourself, oh, listen, it's okay if we diminish the experience, if we can make a little bit more money. Well, that's problematic. Not necessarily a bad thing to do, right? Sometimes you have to have trade-offs if you're going to be a profitable company. But it's really tough because Amazon has always talked about customer obsession. It's also going to be important to see what is the context of those comments by Bezos. What was he talking about specifically? I think that it's going to be critical to figure that piece of it out. But that said, the look is not a good one because it does seem to be off-brand. It seems to be working against, as I said last week, the mythos and the mythology of Jeff Bezos. And the thing is, one of the reasons that it seems credible is because the accusations that the FTC is making about the customer experience seems to reflect things that we've all said, a lot, not all of us, but a lot of us have said about the Amazon experience. That kind of fighting your way through the ads is a less attractive, it's less engaging experience than it used to be, and that Amazon seems to be putting advertising revenue above the customer experience. I've been saying it here for a long time. I'm not the only person who has said it. So when the FTC puts in a complaint, again, yes, it's an allegation, but it seems like a credible allegation because it reflects something that we've all said. Now, let's be clear. What are Amazon's 4 precepts? Customer obsession, not competitor focus, number 1. Number 2, passion for invention. Number 3, commitment to operational excellence. And number 4, long-term thinking. The allegations made by the FTC would seem to run counter to number 1 and number 4, right? First of all, it's not necessarily them putting customer obsession as a top priority. And number 2, I think when you drive down customer engagement, that's not indicative of long-term thinking. It seems to be more reflective of short-term thinking. One of the reasons this is important for competitors to think about is because these days everybody and their brother is investing in retail media networks, right? What are retail media networks? They're a way for retailers to generate additional revenue, create additional revenue streams, new revenue streams through advertising. That's the goal, okay? Amazon's doing the same thing. And again, it'll be interesting to see if this is indicative of monopolistic behavior. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. It seems to me critically important for retailers, all retailers that are engaged in this process, to say, hey, listen, we have to be careful that we're not diminishing the customer experience, that we're so focused on creating new revenue streams that we're forgetting about the main revenue stream, which should be our main revenue stream, which is customers coming into our stores and buying the stuff we sell. That's really, really important. That ought to be the first revenue stream and the most important revenue stream. And when you look at other things and you make them more important than that, by saying, listen, we're not going to worry as much about what the customer is coming in and seeing and what the customer is coming in and doing because we've got all this other money that's coming from advertising. You're creating so much noise that you're going to disenfranchise the customer. Listen, I think the 4 precepts of Amazon, customer obsession, passion for invention, focus on operational excellence, long-term thinking. Those are the kind of precepts that every retailer should have. And it's a real important lesson that if Amazon is one of the companies moving away from that is not focusing on those things in terms of short-term gain, it's a danger for Amazon, but it's also a danger for every retailer who decides that these little short-term gains, ancillary revenue, new revenue streams are more important than serving the customer. Yes, it's important to have a strong bottom line. It's important to serve your own bottom line. But if you do work on those things at the expense of the customer, well, it may be that you're going to lose the customer, which means the bottom line is going to shrink a lot, significantly as well. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.